FileMaker.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Hope y'all are having a lovely day. Hello, Nick. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good, I'm doing fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. How's everyone Monday going? Good, I hope. Real quick, we are continuing our mini makeover series thing pretty much like the last 3 days for the moment. For me doing day 12, day 13, day 14. Nick's got a sample file that one of you lovely people submitted. If you would like to support the channel, we greatly appreciate it. Feel free to look at our FM training annual subscription bundles. We have 3 options right here. Basically, if you want to learn FileMaker and you're like, I really like the streams, but you guys don't necessarily go in the order I want, or I'm looking for specific videos or specific, I can speak English, topics, this is what you want to go look at. We pretty much cover everything under the sun to become a very basic, confident, intermediate level FileMaker developer, which means you can work in FileMaker really well. Just by watching our video training. There's like 100+ hours. I counted it all up once. It was substantially over 100+ hours, but I have to go see how many. We might be getting close to 200. Anyway, um, oh, right. Last thing. If you look at all this, you're like, I love FileMaker, but I don't want to code this myself. Feel free to reach out to us at support@rcconsulting.com. FMtraining.tv is owned by Richard Carlton Consulting, which is a platinum consultant. We are one of the best in the business. We have a ton of really amazing senior engineers who can work on a really huge variety of projects. So, including Nick himself, a lot of them you've popped up on the stream, you've seen them before. They're great people, they know their stuff. Feel free to give us a ring and let us know. With that all being said, I think I'm probably going to hand it over to Nick. Nick!
Okay, so hello everybody. So this is a new week, starting a new week. So today we continue this makeover stuff, but you understood that it's a makeover and at the same time it's like a training and like a educational. Try to educate you how to organize a layout, how to build your own widgets and your own type of objects, how they behave, and how you can get a true UI, a true GUI, right? That a user will love to see and love to use, right? Because when you build something for yourself, you don't really care about the UI. You pretty much do something like a sloppy job for yourself. But when you need to build something for somebody that will use the solution all day, every day, you want to cut the frustration. You want to remove the frustration, avoid the frustration, and you want to give the most pleasure possible. That means when a user enjoy using your product, when for them, when one of my customers say, "Oh, my employee they love to use the thing," it's a win for me. Okay, so because it's I start my journey, my career using computer back in the late 90s, and the first computer I use, so I was pretty much using this was my UI. Okay, this. So I was using this computer, right? So it was a hotel where I was working. I was working in Monaco, and that was the IBM 36 terminal. Okay, so this was my UI. This is how I start my career. Okay, so from that time, right, and believe it or not, but it was extremely efficient. Okay, so it was efficient. It was efficient because it was simple and straightforward. So from that time, I didn't dismiss completely the philosophy behind this, right? Because it was efficient, simple, straightforward, and clear, right? So those are qualities you need to keep. Clear, clarity, simplicity, right? Because if you have a complex UI, right? Well, it's confusing. We can have a very confusing layout when you don't know what you're doing, right? Because if it was really complicated for them to build something straightforward and not confusing, right? Why? Because it was one task at a time, no windows. You were displaying one thing at a time, right? We didn't have box tabs. We didn't have those things, right? So that back in the day, right? So it was complicated for them to stay straightforward, but it's complicated for us as well because there you cannot display everything at the same time, right? So you need to choose your battle. And today we are going to learn how to organize like windows within Windows, right? Like tabs and slides and stuff like that, right? We already started doing this, right? Using this file like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, right? And we learned the accordion. That was that one type of tabs, right? Tabulation, like like this, like tab, like this, right? So you have this organization. This is a tab, by the way, right? You remember that's a tab.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a tab as well. Okay, this, this, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
tab, and let me. Where is because I have so many windows now open here. Um, so this also it's a tab, right? And let me um, show you here. I don't, I'm hiding information because I don't want to. So this here is in French, but you don't care. This is a very, very old solution of mine that I built for a school in Canada, right? In Quebec, because by the way, just a reminder, I can build solution in English, French, and Spanish because I'm fluent on 3 languages, right? So it was interesting for these people in Canada to use me as a developer because, I know the country and Quebec, and I'm French speaking. And the same for Spanish, right? It could be interesting for people to know that I can do that in Spanish as well, right? It would be interesting if one day I can do like a webinar in Spanish, by the way, because the Spanish community, when I say Spanish, I say the Latino community, the Spanish like speaking in the Latin America, which is a large, it's a wide community,
Mm-hmm.
what FileMaker is very well implemented in Latin America. There's a lot of people in Argentina using FileMaker, and there's a lot of people um, in Brazil, Colombia, um, Chile, and Peru as well. So, and Mexico, of course, but a little bit less in Mexico. I don't know why. So, here, just that was a part of it. But here, for example, so if I tell you that this object, right, this object, and these objects, right? This one, and this one is the same. So that's why when in 2010 at FileMaker Incorporation, incorporated at that time, FileMaker Inc. When I was there and we start working on FileMaker 12, right? The big debate was how to upgrade, how to improve these objects. So we already have this discussion, but I wanted to have it again because it's a big topic, So the object that they wanted to improve is this one, the tab control. The problem is how in a UI like this, because pretty much this is the tab control. Tab control setup that comes from the late 90s, okay? This. How you can make this UI to accommodate all what I just showed you. The accordion, this and this, right? And this with the icon and the text and a calc, and of course a vertical tab, right? Vertical, horizontal. How you can make that possible? Okay. So within one small tiny setup window, right? And the answer was the answer that came very quickly is it's impossible. So the idea was, the concept was, let's separate two objects, right? So let me bring this, no, not this one here, this one. This is the one we work on today. So let me move that on the side here. And let me put that here, put that here. Okay. So the idea was, instead of getting something like this, right, to have this object, which is clearly, so you have this and this, right? So you have this object here and this object, right? So this is pretty much the control and this is the container, right? So instead, how we can improve this? Well, we do need to keep this behavior, which is pretty much this, for example, right? So if I put an object within this object needs to be carried away, right? That means if I move, this is now completely, totally embedded in that object. So that object is a containing object, always be like this since the day one of the tab. So the replacements need to have the same behavior. Okay. So the idea came, and that's the reason why it is part of the same group of tools. Okay. The panel tools. Okay. So this is not a tab control anymore. It's a palette tool, right? It's a tab control and a slide control. Okay. So what the slide control? Okay. Well, the slide control, it's the same as the tab control without the tab for navigation. So here there's no tab. What you have dots, right, to navigate, right? For example, here. So if I go there and I put this is slide 1, right? This is slide 2, and this is slide 3. So as I mentioned before, if you move this object, the object inside is embedded in the object, right? You can see that in the object tree, right? This slide control has 3 panels, and within the panel, you have the object. This here, it's a tab control. There's 3 tabs, and inside the tab, you have an object. So this object, it's inside this tab, which is part of this tab control. This text object is part of this panel, which is part of this slide control. Right? So the advantage is that this panel, this slide control panel, I try to educate you with the wording and the spelling, right? So this panel, this object within this panel of the slide control, right? I can use these dots to navigate throughout the panel. Okay. Also, I can use the slide gesture in the with a slide with the gesture device. Like I have my magic mouse here on the Mac, right? Where is the mouse? See? So I can slide. So I have a slide control, right? So I can move and slide like this. See? I can do this with my device. So I'm showing this for the PC people, right? So I have this Apple device, which is a slide. So, but you can have a trackpad on your laptop, right? So that works as well. Or when you build a FileMaker layout for iPhone or iPad, right? Of course, you have, the phone gestures, right? A touch device. So you have this. But also, I can just have a button, right? And say, this goes to the panel 1, this go to the panel 2, and this goes to the panel 3. I can do that, right? So let's put that on the side right quick. and let's focus on this, right? So I can do my own tab, okay? So how I can say a button to go straight to an object, right? Well, there's only one way, to do that. I cannot say go to slides. Actually, I never tried. I don't think FileMaker ever did that. Go to slide, right? Go to slide or go to panel, or they never did that. See, they never did. So there's no way we can say go to that slide one. I wish they had something like this, right? I'm not even sure if MBS has something like this. That's a good question. Let's ask my friend chat. So webinar. Did those MBS have functions to navigate to a panel slide directly without go to object? Let's ask. It's just okay. So there's one. Current panel, okay, no go, no focus change, no scrolling jump, no, good. MBS layout object set properly in my panel control object. Okay, so I'm going to investigate this. Okay, before, right? Before we go, because I will have soon. I'm working on this, so that's why I look for this, right? Because I will come with a new webinar concept. Is that this is how I was doing things before. Okay, this is how it's out of the box from FileMaker, and this is how I always did for years, and this is how I do. This is how I use MBS, and I have many MBS. I will have an MBS session soon, but I'm waiting. Did Eric Schmidt released their new version? Mod?
The new version is 16. Yes, we'll be talking about it at some point on stream.
When that was last week, right?
It was released last week, yes, but due to schedule shuffling, we're talking about it in not next week, but the week after. So.
Oh, okay, cool. I will be. I'm going to contact Eric Schmidt, by the way.
Christian Schmidt, yeah, I mean he's great with responsive emails.
Yeah.
So support at mookiebread.com, I think.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a fan of MBS, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was against plugin before.
Yes.
I was strongly against plugin because I hate depending on the technology that can disappear tomorrow. Right?
Yes.
So but the product is the core value of that product is so huge, right? That, okay, so it's I'm going to have like a full, maybe we could do a webinar, a joint webinar. That's why I want to contact him and say
that'd be fun.
Yeah, not because I can't work, without MBS anymore. Okay, so I switched from on my dead body to I can't breathe without MBS, right?
Yes. No, it's wild how hard that shift comes. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's okay. There's many places where they can improve, right? And I might share that on a webinar. And but so I won't be I won't be afraid anymore and tell people not using it. I'm going to say use it, right? And if MBS has a way like this, right, like this, I will say go for it, right? And ChatGPT is good because it has this advantage, right? There's advantage over no, but there's advantage. For example, there's advantage over GTO. GTO is a go-to object, right? So there's many advantages as I see. Okay, so and most of the time is because at Monkey Bread they understand the issues, right? That's why I'm not surprised that they did something, right? Because I know that your father, the boss,
Mhm.
always criticize FileMaker, say, oh, this is BS, this is, yes, but it's complicated, to build, to give you the, 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 the philosophy behind this was, do you want FileMaker, Claris, to keep you constrained to this, right? How you can click here and change the appearance and with a complete freedom within this box. It's possible. It's impossible, right? So the concept was, instead of constraining into one so it's give you this object, which is the button. Let's separate the panel out. Let's remove that tab and make that object separate. Okay. So what I'm showing right now is the out of the box without MBS concepts, right? And then I will do a new version, I'm working on a new series of how to use MBS stuff. So I will have how to use PDF with MBS. No, I'm not going to show everything, all what we can do with PDF with MBS, because we need like 2 years, right? But I'm going to show you what I'm doing, which is, to me, the most relevant is it's to show you what FileMaker cannot do with PDF. Like, for example, when you have two FileMaker page, how you merge PDFs. Can be PDF you generate with FileMaker, or two PDF documents you have on container and you want to make one. Okay. So this is huge. So PDF. Second, it will be the contact, how to merge, how to communicate with your iCloud, iPhone, contacts app, right? And FileMaker, right? The other will be how to interact with external files, save file, import file, delete file on your, hard drive, create file on your hard drive from FileMaker. Pretty much, you can have like something like this in FileMaker. Pretty much, you can recreate this in FileMaker, right? File system, right? And I will add this to the list and many other things. Okay, so and I think I will start with all the developer tools, right? So it will be interesting. So by the way, before continue, do we have any questions so far? about what we, you know.
I have not seen any questions at the moment, so you're still good.
Okay, so how I connect this and this together. So I know I already did that, I already showed that, but I'm going to do it again, okay? Because it's another series. So if somebody watched this video in the future on YouTube, they're not lost, you know. So the concept is simple, you know. I'm going to give an object, this object a name, right? Panel, panel, panel. So I'm going to put the name here. Slide 1, slide 2, and slide 3. Okay? Slide 1, 2, and 3. So I have a name. I name that object. So now I can go and say, like we say, you know, GTO, go to object, right? Go to object slide 1. GTO slide 2. Okay. And GTO slide 3. Right? So now slide 1, 2, 3. See? 1, 2, 3. So now I can remove that object there, show navigation dots, which by the way, you can make bigger, which by the way, right, you can change color, right? You have control here, right? But you can also say, get the head out of here, okay? So now I have two ways to change slides, right? I have the button and the gesture, which also I can deactivate, right? Just to let you know. When you are in layout mode, you don't need to activate this to navigate, you know. You navigate here, right? Or you can double click in the object and use this, right? So depending this or this. So now this is easy, right? But you understood that this is 3 objects separated. It's complicated because we don't have something to make it like this. Which one I am in? I click slide 2. I have no idea I am in slide 2. Right? Here, yeah. I have a out of the box, automatic, systematic display, graphical display of which tab is actually displaying. So how I can reproduce this without hacks? Because I could do it with a regular button, you know, but that will be a freaking hack. Okay? Nothing good. So since I am, and I'm not kidding, I even have patents on my name with the Apple logo on top about those things. Okay? By the way, I'm going to show you this. This here, I patented. Let me show you this. Now, see, sometimes it's important that you know that, you know, I want to give some weight to what we say here, because we know what we say. Which one is? Okay, it's this one. So let me send that airdrop, because I have this in mind. Why I can't do airdrop stuff? Oh, because the Wi-Fi is not on. Okay. Okay. It's not showing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's blurry, but it's okay. So this is the radius. This is this corner radius, right? I don't know why it's so blurry. So this here, and this, right? This is me, right? United States patent and Apple. So this is patented on my name. Okay, so I have two plaques like this. That the only two I wanted at home. Okay, I have like 30 or 31 or 32 patents on my name. So the concept here, and the idea was, how can we do this to have built in the object that we are going to connect to this object, to have these concepts? Okay, the active, inactive state. Well, the idea was, let's take this. So you understood that we took this out, separated, right? Let's do the opposite. Let's take this and separate it. What? So we did it, and we call it button bars. Button bar, right, is, right, this, it's a bar of button, like the title says. Okay, but right, this object here, the button, here. So what is the difference between this and this? Well, this is a button. So I can, if I double click, I can put a text, attach an action, right? Have some option like show the hand, the finger, right? And of course, I can add like an icon. Okay? And here I have some states: normal, hover, pressed, and focus for each object. So if I want this object to look the same as this one, to look the same as this one, and this one, and the three to behave the same, I need to reproduce everything I do here. I need to reproduce here and to reproduce here. This object here is doing the same thing, but it's one unique object. Here, I have the bar The divider, so what the divider? Well, the divider is this, right? So I can choose to put the divider on none, okay? I have the segments, which is pretty much the button within the bar, okay? So they didn't want to say bar, button, bar, divider, and bar. They want to say button bar, divider, button bar segment, and button bar icon. So they call that segments instead of button. You understand? Because otherwise it would have been like button bar button, which is meh. Okay. So the segment is the button, and if you look when you select the segments, here you have hover, press, in focus, like here. Hover, press, in focus. Here I have hover, press, in focus. But what did you see now? The difference between these states and this one. Here I have normal, hover, press, in focus, and here I have active, inactive, hover, press, focus. So I have a new state that I don't have here. It's an active or inactive state UI, right? So I can now make this button to look differently based on its state of if it's active or inactive, right? So now, thanks to this, I can reproduce that state. Active, inactive, active, inactive, active, inactive, inactive, right? See, they look different. They grayed out when it's active, inactive. So, right? So, for example, when it's inactive, it's like this. When it's active, right? I can say like this, for example, right? I can say when it's active to display like this, or when it's active to display like this. See? It's when it's active to display like this, right? Much more modern than this tab-like stuff, right? You understand? So now, instead of being constrained inside this box, right? Now I can make this to look like whatever I want with and using all of this arsenal, right? To make it look like as I want. For example, here, I want to look like this. I want to reproduce this, right? I want to reproduce this, which this is boring and meh and extremely 1980. Right? And I want to make it like modern and much more appealing, something like this. right? It looks better than this, right? So how I do that? So first, I need to add an icon. So big advantage, I can add an icon here, right? I can add an icon. I can add an icon here, right? And I can add an icon here. So, of course, can make the icon bigger. So now this object look like this, right? See? Which is totally, completely, and utterly impossible to do with this. There's no button here. There's no button. I don't have, right? I don't have tab. I have the tab control, but I don't have button control. Here, I have the bar, the divider, the segment, and the icon. So my icon is gray when it's inactive, but black when active. Right here, I have the icon. Here, I have no icon possible. I can't add an icon here. I can double click and I can add an icon and add a script exactly as I have for a button. I can add an icon and add a script. Here I have add an icon and add a script. Of course, also, right, I can add an icon that have a meaning to what I want to do. For example, here, I want pulse, right? This is what I want to reproduce, right? So appointments, right? Invoices, oops, yeah, and payments, and contact info. Okay. I typically don't like to put two words in this. I tend to keep it like this. Oops. Of course, I can resize the way I want, which is totally impossible to do here. The resizement here is put here, right? Left, center, right. The tab, it's insanely complicated. Here, it's simple, okay? So I can change icon here. So of course, I would put like an icon that has a meaning here, but I'm not doing that right now. Okay, so for the horse, maybe I can. Do you want me to show you how to add an icon here?
Yes.
Okay, so I typically use this website. This is my favorite, right? So I'm paying the website is $10 a month, but you can use it. You can use it free, right? But if you sell your solution, or if you work for a customer, you need to put you need to credit to be legal. you need to credit the website when, in your solution. So it's okay. I'm using it so much, $10 a month is not killing me. So I want a horse. Okay, so I want a horse. So this one is too Ferrari-like, right? I like this one, right? Or this one. This one is too Ferrari, look like too Ferrari. This one, no, this one is too chess-like, right? So let's have those three options here. You download as an SVG, not a PNG. PNG is not the format you want. It's SVG. So you download as SVG, so it's downloaded, right? And when you go, that added. So you have this, right? You have this, and this, and this, right? So let's add an icon. So you have this plus button here underneath those icons here, right? And here you go select your icon. And I want to try this one first, right? So, right? So I can try another one, this one, and I can add the other one also. This one doesn't work, right? So sometime it can happen when this doesn't work, right? So you have a way to fix that, but I don't care because the one I want is this one, right? This one is too sketchy. It's too racy. This is a race, right? And I don't know why it's missing. It's because this here is too, see, the design is not great. This is too close, in my opinion, doesn't look great. The one that looks the best is this, okay? So I'm going to destroy this one and keep this one, which is the best, okay? So now I need another one for appointments, right? So FileMaker has appointment, but this is too calendary. It's not appointment, it's calendar, right? This is a day, this is calendar, and this is too time, and it looked like a pizza to me. So let's download one from the, so you put appointments, right? So let's keep it simple in design, right? I do like this one and this one, and we need to, this one can be cool as well, this one. So I'm downloading like multiple examples. So I download this SVG, right? As they came here, they here, right? So I have this one, this one, this one. I can tell you that this one won't work and this one won't work. I know because I recognize it, but it's okay. So now I can add an appointment icon. I'll go here, right? So I'm going to downloads and okay. All right. So let's try this one. Let's try this one first. Okay. See, this one doesn't work. It's missing one. It's missing something. It's missing. is missing the check mark, okay? And I think this one, see, this one won't work. It's cropped, right? So sometimes it happens. This one also, this one works, looks weird here, but looks okay, but it doesn't look good on the, you know. So to me, the one that looks the best for now is this one. So let me remove this icon here and select this one. This one is the one that looks the best, in my opinion. Invoices, well, also, I don't have invoice icon, so let's go to the website again, you know, and invoices. So what it comes, right? So let's clear this. And this one I like because I have the dollar sign, right? And this one can be cool as well. This one is my favorite. So let's download those three and go there, plus, and go to the collection, download it here. Let's try this one. This one looks good. We have another one. This one doesn't work. And the bill, well, it looks weird. See, there's a white there. So this one is the best candidate, right? This one, right? So payments. So what the, you know, for payments. So yeah, I always use this one when it comes from to payments. So that's why, you know, I'm not looking further because this is the one I always use. Invoice, there's a dollar sign with a paper that the into hand that said, I give you money, right? And contacts, well, you know, this one or this one, up to you. Depending if it's contact info or contacts. If it's contact, if it's contacts. Here it says contacts info, so it's contact with one, so I put one. See how the selection is, you know, to give to improve the meaning of an icon, right? Because the meaning of an icon is that you don't use the same brain hemisphere when you read and when you see a drawing. That's why we love icons. We love icons because the brain needs like 10% of the effort of reading to get the meaning of a drawing. That's why we love it. That's why we love emojis. That's why we love drawing, and that's why a UI is much more efficient than a text. Remember what I was showing you, this, right? Well, this is much more efficient than this, correct? Right? So now I have a nice button tab that shows me which one is active. So now what do I need to do to make this to look like a tab, right? Right? So let me put that on the side. Well, I'm putting a rectangle here on the back. So here my tab, right? It looks like a tab. Now, and how I can now do this? Well, don't forget that this is a button, but it's a bar of buttons. So I have 5 buttons inside my bar. So, and I can navigate within the buttons with this tool, or this here, right? Or this. So now I can make my go-to object, slide 1. Okay, but this, you saw, I have a lot of things to do. Go there, this, 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 there's a lot of, it's fastidious, it's boring, right? So how can I do, right, to avoid this? Well, the best way to avoid this annoying, process, right, is actually to use this FileMaker, is to use a script, right, that will go directly. So we have slide navigation. I have two here. I have with animation, without animation, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to copy those scripts and paste them here. Yes, they work directly, right? So they are universal scripts. Okay, so I can remove this. That was an option 4. So I have this and this. Okay, so I have script with options. Okay, so here, selecting a script, right? So I'm selecting the with animation, and I said in the parameter where I want to go. See, it's much simpler. It's much simpler to do that way. If I go there, I said scripts, I select my scripts, and I said slide 3. Here, scripts, I select my scripts, slide 4. See, I have one window. Here, scripts, I select slide 5. See? So you understand. So now you saw that I'm not saying slide horse or slide appointment or slide invoice or slide payments, right? It's too complicated. Because if I say slide payments, I need here the button to say slide payments. But there's a problem if I do this, right? If I name the slide 4 in this layout, I can copy paste that two object. I can copy this, paste in another layout using the same scripts, going to the same layout, do the same slide name, right? So here, for example, right? Look, you need to think about reusability. So here, I'm going to add a fifth slide and slide 5, right? And I'm going to add this here, right? So appointment, invoices, payment, contact, right? Slide 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's say I'm building a new layout, completely new, with my, completely new layout. And I'm going here and I copy these 3 objects and I paste this here. Copy paste. It works. But now I can rename this like companies, right? I mean, whatever, okay? I can do, I don't care about the name. The slide doesn't matter if this is company whatever or stuff. I don't care. It could be whatever I want, but I can copy and paste it without the fear, without the burden of making the name to match the name of the slide. Understand? So now I'm completely, free to build my tab and reuse it from one solution to another, from one layout to another. And I don't fear, I don't say, oh my gosh, I need to, you know what I mean? So before we go to the question, here, this bar, the advantage of this is I can display it horizontal or vertical. Something that I can't, so I could build, actually, I could build this like this, or I could have built it like this. Do you know what I mean? So, because sometime, imagine that this was horizontal. So my layouts, so if I had put this, so let's try, by the way, I need to be careful because it's a live. So let's say I'm putting this object, right? Yeah. So I'm putting this object horizontal. So either I have a this is a width of my, layout, or I would have to do this. Right? You see, this is not possible, right? So you see that this doesn't work at all, right? So now you understand why this object here, the tab, is limited, because here I have much more freedom. Okay? So not sure if we have any questions.
Have to convert the SVG to change the icon color in FM? Question mark.
Yes, so the coloring using this here, right? Only work if you have SVG formats, which is vectors, okay? If you go there, and you download the same as PNG, right? So if you add this as a PNG, it will always be black. You can't change the color. Here, I can change the color. Here, button, icon is gray. If I select the SVG, right? Now I can change the color. Now, you can go there and edit, have a color button like this, Sometimes I do. Sometimes, I like to have their, why I don't, let me, because I can edit the color here. You can have a color, or you can colorize your own. For example, if you want to have this, this color here, right? You just go there, copy the color here, paste here, right? Save to collection. So now you have the green color, right? And you can download PNG. And here now, go here and add your green PNG, but it will always be green. Inconvenience, here I can have a conditional formatting to change the color icon on demand. Using conditional. Here, if I use conditional on the icon, right? It will never change color. Let me change. See? I have a conditional, but if I change to the SVG version, it changed. Right? So pretty much, unless unless this is an icon like PayPal. Sometimes I like to have like, let's say a PayPal. I want this. I want this, right? As an icon in a button. Well, so I download a PNG version and not SVG version, right? Well, because I do want this to look like the real PayPal PNG. I don't want that icon to change. This is the PayPal logo, right? Right. I don't even know what the SVG version will do. Well, it doesn't even work. So you understand? So depending on which icon I'm putting here, sometimes I want the PNG version like this. This is the PNG version. But I don't have colored PNG icon. I prefer to have an HVG, and then I'm selecting the color using FileMaker tools, right? Yeah, this one, right? So I can decide which color I want, right? Correct? So
Yes.
yeah, there for the buttons, the best is the PNG format. Right? Other question?
No, I do have a meeting in 10 minutes, so I think we're going to wrap this up if you don't mind. But
No, I don't mind.
this has been
I
really
don't mind.
interesting, Nick, as always. Thank
Yes,
you.
it's a repeating topic that I have, but it's important that because this is an argument I have with your father many times, but this is not going anywhere, right? I mean, it's not tomorrow. FileMaker is not going to change this to make tab modern, okay? So it's better you get it, better you use it, and better is, right? And I'm going to work on this for you guys, right? And to make this to work flawlessly and easily, to make sure that I bring to you the best of the MBS plugin, and then you don't have to deal and dig and and learn too much, right? So I will have two versions. This version is without the MBS plugin for the people that they don't want to use the MBS plugin because they don't want to pay. And now we have an advanced, enhanced, improved version with the MBS plugin.
Sounds good to me. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Seriously, we will be seeing you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for
Okay.
coming.
Thank you. See you tomorrow, man.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.